Welcome back to the nationally syndicated Price of Business show. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Always love to talk to Chris Kidd. He is a long-time regular on the show. We call him the money man around here. He is really going to bat for individuals to help them make the most of their money, both what they make, how to make more, how to hold on to it, and really how to achieve financial success, which that message is more important now than ever. Chris, real quick, add real quick to what I just said, what you think is needed, and also give your best website.
Oh man, Kevin, that was beautiful. You did a great job describing what I do. I don't know if I can do much better, but basically, like you said, trying to help people make sense of financial decisions, make better financial decisions. And really, my goal is, one, to eliminate financial stress that really tears apart a lot of families, and then also how to help people protect their money and grow their money and not make a lot of the big mistakes that are so prevalent across all walks of life. So that's pretty much my goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's chriskidd.com. Kidd is spelled with two D's. That's ChrisKidd.com. All right, so there's so much doom and gloom. The sky is falling. Literally, you were saying during the break, people taking their own life because of the dire economic situation we're in. But, some of the greatest companies in U.S. history were created in times like this. And in, I think in the 1970s, Federal Express, it was created in an environment like this. A lot to do with the founder not being sure how to make any money on it, working for anyone else. And so he got creative with his master's thesis and led to building this business. And so what we want to do, what you want to do, I know from our conversations, is you want to remind people that people are making money no matter what's going on in the macro economy.
Yeah. And like you said, people get short-sighted and they do things like take their life and everything, when really, oh man, there's a fantastic talk that people need to go listen to by Ed Milet called The Power of One More. The best talk I've ever heard in my life, and I've heard a lot. That will really resonate with stuff today. But I mean, people really just need to realize there's a longer time frame than today, and I know what it's like to be caught up in that stuff. But that's why you need somebody that you can talk to that can kind of walk you through this stuff. Whether it's somebody like me, like a financial coach, or a friend, or somebody like that. But there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of good things that can come out of times like this. And in fact, I was telling someone the other day, the bad side is it's going to hurt a lot of people, but the good side is I kind of feel bad about it, but I'm also trying to inform others about what I know and understand about this, so that maybe they can take advantage of it too, because I'm actually excited right now. I know that's very opposite of the doom and gloom, but I know stuff like this creates opportunities of a lifetime.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
What I see coming.
Yeah, and one of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump, one of those movies that, it's not one I go looking for because I've seen it enough times, but when it happens to be on TV, I watch it. And one of the reasons why is that scene when a massive storm was coming, and he had a shrimp boat, and him and Lieutenant Dan, and every other boat was being put on the shore to prepare for the hurricane. And up to the point where this happened, his company was barely surviving. They were living on whatever they caught, which wasn't very much, very lean diet. And they just said, hey, let's go get some shrimp. They'll be riled up because of this storm. And so, when everyone else was like ostriches and hiding their head in the sand, Gup and Dan went out there and they went shrimping like no tomorrow, and they came back with a huge amount of shrimp. And more importantly, they probably got a bunch of customers because other people weren't out on the boat. those boats that were docked all got obliterated by the hurricane. And they basically owned that area. And so the moral of that tale is don't be an ostrich in times like this. How do you exploit it? How do you take advantage of it?
Well, the natural tendency to most people, especially when they don't understand a lot of stuff, is fear. And like you said, people, they want to be an ostrich and stick their head in their sand and just say, hey, I'm going to hide out here and just wake me up when it's over. Yeah, it's for people that understand times like this. It is going to get rough. For some people anyway, but if you understand what to do, you can prepare. Just like, a hurricane. We're here in Houston and we're used to hurricanes. We know the whole routine, the hurricane prepping. You buy all your supplies, and then, if you want to ride it out, you stay and ride it out, but you got all your water and everything, or you go somewhere else. So, same principle, basically for, planning for a recession. Don't get yourself over leveraged right now. If you have a lot of debt, you want to start, getting rid of that stuff. Even if you have, toys, cars, boats, things that if it's a financial drain to you, or if it's going to make stuff tight, I might recommend selling it. I don't know anybody's personal situation here, so it's not necessarily financial advice for any particular person, but a lot of people that I would deal with, in fact, the other day I had another conversation with somebody, and I was like, you know what? I would sell all the crap that I don't need right now and raise all the money that I can get and just start stacking money because the opportunities that are coming. So, definitely being over leveraged at a time like this is definitely going to be bad. You don't want to go out and, start taking on a lot of extra debt. This is not a good time, in my opinion, to buy a house or a car. The market has been so inflated. Prices have skyrocketed. And with a recession coming and there's going to be job losses. People are going to have to start getting rid of stuff. Basic supply and demand. There's going to be less demand. Prices are going to be coming down. So if you're looking for a new car, a new house, wait just a little bit. You're going to get a better deal.
Yeah, at least a little bit, especially when it comes to really both cars and houses. Particularly, cars come to mind. Cars is one of these situations where if you're buying a car now, you're about a year to being completely upside down on that car. Because there's no way in the world you're going to be able to get anything close to what the normal market value would be, or should I say the market value is now for that car used compared to the normal market value, which is what we're heading to. And I keep hearing all these doomsdayers that, talk about, prices will never be low again. Prices will never, you'll never be able to afford things again. There are so many things that we enjoy that have gone through massive inflationary cycles that in spite of all that, we get them at a cost significantly lower than we got them 30, 40, 50 years ago. Why? It's because people want to make money, and they don't care if they make a few pennies off of each thing as long as the volume is good. And production abilities in this world and in this country are still better now. Well, once we work out some of these supply chain issues, better than any time in human history. And don't listen to the doomsayers. Yeah,
and right now, I guess there's kind of like a couple different schools of thought. There's one, people who are saying, okay, well, maybe they've got money, maybe they're in a position to be able to do something. I've had people ask me about investing. Right now, I'm like, I've got about a 6 to 24 month hold on just about doing almost anything. Because I just believe prices are coming down, and I know the stock market's been killed. I've talked with a guy recently that has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not close to $1 million now. However, he wouldn't have done that if he'd listened to me over the last 8 months or so. But anyhow, that's just a side note. But yeah, so a lot of people, they're wanting to know when they should buy stuff, and I'm saying, wait a little bit, wait at least 6 months, and possibly up to about a 24-month time frame. I think you'll be able to buy some stuff before then, but at least 6 months minimum. And wait till you start seeing a lot of job losses and stuff like that, and things getting like really uglier for some people. But as far as, I do like real estate investment. I like multifamily stuff. That's kind of like my kind of deal. And I wouldn't recommend buying anything. I mean, real estate I think is still a good investment if somebody else is paying for it. So if you want to look for any kind of deal like that, make sure, one, that it cash flows, and two, that somebody else is paying for it, which that's where the cash flow comes from anyway.
Yeah, OPM. Use other people's money wherever you can, and there's all kinds of ways of doing that. And, I concur with that, and I think that that's very sage advice to give to people. You got to go through a little pain to get some gain, but if you're the type that has that kind of determination, we're looking at a great economic bonanza for a bunch of people who are willing to be determined, willing to be focused, willing to take advantage of the mistakes of others, not in an ugly way, but to realize, hey, here is an opportunity for me. And there's a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And by the way, you mentioned one just a minute ago. I don't want to pass up on that, which is, the investor who has lost hundreds of thousands, maybe $1 million plus on the stock market. It's so weird that people sell when their stock is in the gutter. It's like, why would you do that? I mean, I understand if your stock is in the margins and you have to, but, that as a rule, that doesn't make sense. You only lose money when you sell it. Why would you do that to yourself? Now, some of them you may see the sign, the writings on the wall. This stock is dead. Yeah, maybe you had no choice dead, but a lot of them, you know they're going to come back. You just got to be patient.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to say everything will come back to where it was, but at the same time, you don't want to sell, and that's what I've told this person that is kind of in a big hole right now. I said, well, you don't want to sell it now. It's kind of after. That time has passed. You should have sold it when I told you this was coming. But, right now it's kind of late to sell unless you realize the stuff that you're invested in is trash and that company's going under. If it's a good company, then hang on to it. In fact, now is when well, not now, but in the next 6 months or so, 6 to 24 months, you should be buying more and adding to that. So, you don't have to wait forever for it to catch back up.
That's right.
In fact, you could buy twice as much when it's cut in half than you originally had, and then it takes half the time to make it up. So,
absolutely.
But fear plays such a big point, a big factor in that, because everybody, like you said, they're afraid. So they end up getting scared out, and that's the time that they ought to be buying, but they're afraid to buy. And then if they get scared out, they're afraid to buy back in.
That's right.
Which is, if you remember the crash in 2008, I had, I'm not going to mention any particular people, but there was someone that had bought Apple, and it was at like 140 something, I think, when they had bought it, and it started coming down. And I said, well, this stuff's going to start getting hit because that's where a lot of the big hedge funds and mutual funds have their money, and they need to start raising money now. So they're going to free up cash. So these will be going down. Apple's going down, but it's a great company. So they didn't want to sell it. They did end up selling it like 130 something. But then they had that in their mind, I took a loss. Oh, I took a loss with them, so I can't touch it ever again. Then they went down to like in the 70s, and I said, buy it now. Like, all, twice as much as you had. They're like, oh, no, I don't know. Well, look at Apple today. Don't buy Apple today, though. Wait 6 to 24 months.
Chris Kidd, that's great advice. Really important message that people really need to think differently about this. People make money no matter what the economy is. You got to just figure out to be on that side of making money. Got to wrap it up with that. Chris Kidd, that's Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Kidd, Kidd.com. He's our money guy. We love talking to him, and his approach is so accessible to people, which is so important. And he has an attitude of roll up your sleeves and gets involved with the people that he works with. Thanks so much, Chris. I'm Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business.